We have 3 days to discover the best of Lisbon. This is such a charming city filled with winding streets, delicious food,
oh wow,
and beautiful historical sites just like this one, the St. George Castle. Hopefully this video will help you plan your trip to Lisbon if you're wondering what to do.
Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Lisbon.
We're so excited to be here. We're actually staying right across the Tagus River in the Almada neighborhood, which the reason we're doing that is because we found an affordable stay over here, and you just get the ferry and it takes you right into the center of Lisbon in like a few minutes. It's actually
Very
such
good compromise.
a good find.
Yeah.
If you do see a cheap accommodation across the river, don't hesitate to book it because it's super convenient actually. So when you come to Lisbon, your first tip is to buy one of these transport cards. They're 50 cents and then you just top them up with as much as you want, and then you just tap on and off and they give you on all the buses, the metros and the ferries.
And you can get it from the airport, so at least the moment you land, sorted.
So many tips are going to come at you throughout this vlog, so make sure you keep watching. Today's kind of plan, I guess, is to wander around the city and see as much of the highlights that we can here in Lisbon. So, because of where we're located, we are starting right here on the pink street. They actually have painted this entire street pink. It's kind of a marketing ploy, but it's still really cool. Like right at the end of this street is like this beautiful baby blue building with this yellow old school bridge and then this pink road. Like it looks like something out of Willy Wonka, and I'm here for it. And because we're here so early in the morning, there's no one here taking pictures, so I think we need to get some pictures in really quick before we continue to explore. But look at this, look how beautiful that is. This is definitely the kind of place that you would actually come to like more in the evening if you want to have like that vibe. But if you want to get the pictures, then definitely come here early in the morning because we were able to get pictures with no one else in them, which is perfect. And we've been here for like 10 minutes and now we're kind of done. It's not that big of a street. So there's another touristy hotspot here in Lisbon that I really want to go see. And because we are here so early, I think it's best to go there early in the morning when hopefully there'll be a few less people. And it's only about a 15-minute walk from the pink street, so we're going to head there now. This is like exactly how I pictured Lisbon to be, like lots of hills, like colorful buildings. It's exactly what you picture when you picture Lisbon. Here.
Oh my god. Holy sh**. What is this? This is the lift?
Yeah.
That is so random.
So, a long time ago, they built these lifts because Lisbon is built on like a very hilly area. They built these lifts to kind of connect the different neighborhoods easily so that people didn't have to like, I guess, walk up huge hills. So it used to be a form of public transport. I think they had 2 lifts kind of like this, 2 or 3. Anyway, this is the only one left and now it's become a tourist attraction. I believe you can take the lift to the top, but I think there might also be stairs that are free. I'm hoping there are stairs that are free, but let's go find out. I mean, it might be cool, but €6 per person for a viewpoint. The cool thing about the Santa Justa lift is that it, like looking at it, the style of it is amazing. So when you're in it, you're looking at the view of Lisbon, which is also pretty cool. But I think just walk down the street a bit and get a better view of it, and that is all you really need. Like, it's just a really cool feature. We are at Praça da Rocio, which is Rocio Plaza. This is the reason why people love traveling Europe, and one of the reasons why I love European cities is you can just walk around and like this is the kind of stuff you find. Like this plaza is so nice. It is covered in jacaranda trees with the purple flowers and they're beautiful. It's just gorgeous, and we weren't even looking for this. This isn't on like one of our top sites. It's just a beautiful spot in the city to see in between sites. And the church bells are dinging. Come on. currently making our way down Rua Augusta, which is definitely a hotspot street, and we're making our way towards the Arc de Rua de Augusta, which is this huge, beautiful arch at the end of the street. It's gorgeous. Apparently it's like left over from a different time in Portugal. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look up some more information, but it's stunning making our way down there. So that's our next hotspot that we're going to go check out.
And there's a tram.
I just love the old trams. I don't know, they're just so cute. But to be fair, Lisbon is also a very walkable city. So you don't really need to get too many metros around, except if you want to save some money and not stay right in the city, which I highly recommend because it's pretty expensive to stay here in Lisbon. Europe, eh? No, this side is
It's
definitely
very
more
pretty.
impressive. The other side has the clock on it, which I actually really like.
Yeah.
But this side has definitely lots more sculptures and details. The two sculptures at the very top. So this is supposed to be the crowning of glory and valor. That's what it stands for. So this arc was actually built in the 1755. There was an earthquake that basically flattened Lisbon. This is so cool. So we just walked up these stairs, and actually we were just taking a look because we were going to walk around, but then we got to the top of the stairs and it turns out there's an elevator right here that we can go up to the next street. So just like the elevator, the Justice Center lift, it was saying that, you know, it used to be connecting different neighborhoods. This is one of, I guess, the elevators that connect the different neighborhoods, which is so cool.
And you come out, it's like a little cute restaurant with tablecloth and flowers and bang.
I love that. I love just random little elevators. It's very castle-y,
Yeah.
more than cathedral-y. Like, it's not that Gothic architecture, it's like that castle, you know? So this cathedral is actually celebrating 850 years today. So that's how old it is. If you do come to Portugal, I recommend going to at least one church and checking it out, because the inside of the churches here in Portugal, they are slightly different. They use a lot of really like colorful blue and white tiles, which is quite different to what you would get inside churches in other parts of Europe. So definitely worth checking out. But because we've already been to quite a few here in Portugal, we are going to skip this one and we're gonna head on over to probably get some food now, because we have been walking around all day, and although we had a little snack, it's not enough. Let's do a loop and then decide. So Max found a place on Instagram called Mercado Oriental, and it's supposed to be like a Asian market. So there's all different stores that sell all different stuff. So we've ordered a couple of things, and
Wow.
look how amazing this looks. This is a tempeh bao bun, and honestly, this is just making me miss Asia. Like, I want to go back to Asia now. Because of where we've been in the world, Asian food hasn't really been that accessible, except when we were in Peru and they had a big Chinese influence. They had like kind of like a fusion. I'm so excited. Although they wouldn't really call it a cheapie, this bao bun was €4.90, which it's not that cheap, but
Love you in New
it
York.
looks so good. We are in Europe, so. Oh my god. Oh my god. We get another one. Oh wow. our next dish that we ordered, which are fried gyoza dumplings, which, oh, who doesn't love a fried dumpling? It's amazing. So these ones were 12 pieces for €7.50 because we got the mixed plate. Oh, so hot. Ransu. Oh my god, the flavors are so fresh. Oh, I miss Asian food.
Bomb.
10 out of 10 food, honestly. It's not too expensive, so if you are looking for some like kind of affordable Asian food here in Lisbon, definitely come check this place out. Now the real question, are you gonna take the stairs or the escalator?
Take the stairs.
We're earning our coffee. We've been very bad with working out for the last 2 weeks. So this is definitely punishment.
Like the Romans used to do, god dang it.
And later we're gonna have a pastel de nata at some point, so I guess we need to earn it.
Got it.
So we're just currently wandering around Sans Maps. We do want to make our way over to the Alfama neighborhood, which is meant to be like the most beautiful neighborhood in Lisbon. But I mean, this is pretty good in itself.
For those wondering, sans map means without a map.
Everyone knows what that means. Well, look at that. Save your euros. Free platform lookout. So we can actually see the Santa Justa lift from here, and we're actually like higher than it. So unless you really want the experience of going up in that elevator, then 100% save your euros. You can get so many delicious pastel de natas for €6.
Oh yes.
Coffee time. Cute. You made us a massive one for €1.50. No lid though, so we gotta walk carefully, especially with this
Oh my god.
fresh white shirt. It is fun meandering around, as Max would like to say, when we just find places. Not somewhere we planned on coming, but apparently we should have because everyone is here. This is the Praca Julio de Castillo. Really beautiful little garden. Someone playing the guitar. You can see the river. Beautiful. Okay, we come back to Mantequeria because we had these tarts in Porto and they were literally life-changing.
Oh my god.
So when you come to Portugal, you have to come and try the pastel de nata, of course. But we highly recommend that you come to Mantequeria. They make them fresh, as you can see, literally made fresh right behind us. So they're still warm all day long, and
Oh yes.
so good. The best.
Alright, we got the real OG. 1837.
The taste test. Oh my god. It's so warm. It's pretty good.
Yeah?
It's so good. Literally right next door to the Pastel de Belém is the Geronimo Monastery. The pastels are made by monks. The original recipe was created by monks who they actually got kicked out of their monastery, and it was their way to make money to afford to keep living, was selling the pastels. And so that's why those ones are called Pastels de Belém, and all the other ones are called Pastel de Nata. They're not allowed to call them Belém because they're not the originals. So this is the monastery. It's beautiful, like, wow. So gorgeous. It's only maybe like 10-15 minutes from the middle of Lisbon, from Cais de Sodré, which is, I guess, the main train station in Lisbon. And yeah, you're right here, and it's beautiful.
Now, did you know that this right behind me is one of the 7 wonders of Portugal? Because Portugal has its own 7 wonders. Stay tuned, 6 more to come.
Did you know that 5 minutes ago before I told you? Made our way to Torre de Belém, or the Belém Tower. This was a fortress originally that mainly its purpose was for like sailors, explorers actually, to embark on their trip. So it was kind of like a ceremonial port. So they would leave from here and have a big ceremony when they're going off to explore. But it's a beautiful structure and it's right on the water. And it's not too far of a walk. It's definitely one of the things you want to come see when you're in Belém. Today we are heading to the Castelo St. George up on the hill. It's kind of later in the afternoon. We had some work to do this morning. And as we were walking through Lisbon, Max heard one of the guides in these many tuk-tuks around. And he was saying that the oldest bookstore in the world is just up the street. So we kind of like followed him. And we found apparently what is supposed to be the oldest bookstore in the whole world.
Actually, yeah, we just stumbled upon it.
Yeah.
That's Europe for you guys. You just find the oldest of something.
No entrance fee to get in. You can go in and take a look. It's not spectacular inside like some of the bookstores we've been to in some of our recent vlogs, but it's still really pretty, and also you can just go check it out.
Yes, and it's free.
Yeah. But now we're making our way to the St. George Castle up on the hill, so let's go. Okay, so we finally made our way up to St. George's Castle, which really sits on top of Lisbon, like so beautiful. You can see all this greenery around it and like the castle walls. It looks incredible. So it definitely like draws your eye and you want to come here. But apparently, so does everyone else. Through the magic of editing, it is actually 2 days later, but we're going to visit the castle now. For 2 reasons. We actually remembered that Max's cousins were coming to Portugal as well, and we figured they would probably want to go to the castle with us, so we decided to skip it that afternoon, and now we're going to explore the castle with Max's cousin, Mari and Victor.
Stunning spot on top of the hill.
Really good view of Lisbon. You can see the whole of the Tagus River. Tagus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tagus River and the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge.
It's really pretty, boys.
Beautiful. It's so nice. This one is 15 euros to enter, which if you watched our previous Spanish vlogs in Malaga, we went to like the most beautiful castle. It was actually a fortress, but same. And it was only like €3.
Yeah.
It was so affordable. So I'm curious to see like what justifies this one to be 15 euro, or if it's just like they charge what they can because people are willing to pay it. But so far, it's
The view
pretty
is
nice.
the view is spectacular.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. You know, it's funny because I've been trying to look up some like interesting fun facts about this castle, but like nothing interesting is coming up. And I think that that's because we have already learned that in 1755 there was a massive earthquake and it flattened every single building in Lisbon, like completely destroyed the city. And since then everything has been rebuilt. So there's not really much history because it's quite new, because everything has been built since then. So a lot of like this castle, I think, has been like romanticized, as our guide would have said, but it's still a very beautiful place to come and visit in Lisbon, but there's no like super interesting fun history that we can really give you.
Alright, according to what I can see from the QR code, they give you information at the entrance. Oh, by the way, I got a haircut in the future. So this castle was actually never originally built to house the king and queens. It was built to protect the city, so it was like an arsenal or barrack. So only later on did they change to actually have the kings and queens, and they actually built a botanical garden where the kings and queens could hang out, but before just only for soldiers.
This tower that we're standing behind, we're just about to enter the castle, and this one is called the Tower of Riches because this is the tower that housed all of the kingdom's treasure as well as the royal archives. And sometimes it was even called the Tumbling Tower because apparently they would say the royal archives or royal riches would tumble into it, just kind of fall in there, I guess. So they also called it the Tumbling Tower or the Tower of Toba.
We are above the main courtyard, but right down there's a little door which used to be the trader's door, and this is where messages would go in and out to send messages. This is the remnants, and this is part of the actual original fortification, not the one that was rebuilt post-earthquake. It just showcases a little bit of what it used to be before.
Wow, that was amazing. Was that too much? Let's go.
For our next stop, food at the Time Out Market.
So come to the Time Out Market. This place is recommended on everything you read or watch about Lisbon and what you should be doing here. So I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit overhyped, but it's like not even 6 p.m. Yeah, it's 5 p.m. and it's already so busy. So we'll definitely have to give it a go and make a judgment call for ourselves. There's all these different market stalls all around, and apparently the Time Out Market is kind of exclusive. So these are meant to be stalls from all the best restaurants that are actually here in Lisbon already. All of the stall owners already have like a successful restaurant with good ratings and good food. And then if they pass the qualification, then they can open a stall here in the market too. So I guess you get to have like the best food of Lisbon, but on like probably like a paper plate. I don't know. We're gonna go find out.
Wow.
The scariest thing.
Wow, well done.
Because that was so stressful. It's so busy in here, and I just thought somebody's gonna like not be paying attention, just swing around.
Yeah, you did well.
Oh my god, stress. Cheers.
Cheers.
So, because it's so busy,
You have to go on your toes, I'm sorry.
it's so busy, we literally could not find a seat. So we've come to this section, there's like this bench, it's super high, but we're gonna make it work. We got fish and chips, people! Mission successful, and they actually look pretty decent. It's a pretty big portion. And we also got a truffle croque monsieur. So excited for this food. It actually looks very good. It's not cheap. Like it's
No
not
way.
cheap.
This is 100% a tourist place.
It's a hype. Like
Yeah.
I haven't tried the food. Okay, let me try the food.
We
But
had a great lunch, by the way.
100%. It's busy. It's expensive. If you love that vibe, you'll love it.
Which we do not at all.
If you're 97 years old like Max, you're gonna hate it. Nasty.
Oh, wow.
You good?
Wow. All right, so yesterday afternoon, the weather was pretty terrible once we did everything we had to do. So we basically went home. But today the weather is perfect. And as we've mentioned, well, it's better than yesterday. As we mentioned earlier on the vlog, we're staying on the house in the opposite banks of Lisbon, which is perfect because this is actually one of the best places, if not the best place, to come watch the sunset. Now don't get your hopes up. Sunset in summer is 9 p.m. And Max is 97 years old, as you know. We're not gonna make it for 9 p.m. But nevertheless, it is a beautiful area to come for a walk because you really have the sunset lining up perfect to the Golden Gate Bridge. And you have the whole view. The whole view of Lisbon on the opposite bank, which is really beautiful. And it is across the ferry, which is a 20-minute ferry, but tourists don't really think of coming here, so it's a lot more quiet here. Also VIP coming out of this.
No. So today we've decided to get out of the city of Lisbon and we've actually jumped on a tour with Living Tours. If you guys watched our other vlog in Porto, you will have seen that we did a tour with them as well and it was incredible. So we booked with them because they're also located in Lisbon and we're doing a tour of Sintra. So our first stop today is the magical, seriously magical Pina Palace, and we have our guide with us, Diogo.
Hello, welcome. One thing to bear in mind is that although this palace may come across as a palace castle construction, typical of Northern Europe, typical of Germany, typical of Austria, the parts of the architecture which seem to be for protection, so the walls and the hiding places, they're all added for romantic reasons. It's 1836, Portugal is completely at peace. There's the gates. Almost feels like we are inside a peninsula, although it's not.
Really cool. This palace is so impressive
Very end.
and definitely worth coming to with a guide. I mean, it's impressive without a guide. Just being here feels so magical, like a fairy tale, but it's nice having a guide too. So we've just entered the Queen's quarters and they're so lavish, so nice.
Oh, that wall. It's like 3D everywhere.
Yeah, but we were just told by our guide Diogo as well that the Queen actually died 1 year before this was finished, so she actually never got to live. Okay, we we've just been brought to the town of Sintra, which is so cute. Oh my god, I just looked behind Max's head. Adorable. But we have a few hours to explore this town. Our guide Diogo is just going to give us a quick little rundown and then let us do as we please. But it's so adorable. And right behind me is actually the National Palace. So we were just on top of the hill at Pina Palace, but you can also visit this one, which is the National Palace.
The bell, someone subscribe. Thank you, thank you.
We just did a quick walk through Sintra with Diogo, and he took us to a couple of hot spots. Like we got to try the pastry. He took us to this really beautiful ceramic store as well, which they were stunning, hand-painted tiles and other things too. And then we jumped into the port store here, and we met the owner Carlos, who was such a cool guy.
Yeah, very friendly, and like you could see he has a lot going on, but he had a time to chat with us for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
A few little gossips and all, but yeah.
We didn't do a port tasting or a wine tasting in that store because we're actually going to one later today as well. So definitely check it out though. If you want to have a good chat with someone and taste some delicious port, they had ports that were like over 200 years old. We are heading up to the westernmost point of Portugal, which is not
Europe.
Of Europe, sorry.
Yeah.
Now we are heading up to the westernmost point of Europe, which is not just a point to tick off, even though that would also be really cool. But wait till you see the view.
It's actually the westernmost point of the continental Europe. Sorry.
We have made it to Cabo de Roca, which is, as we said, the westernmost point of continental Europe. And already there's all these little wildflowers around, just a cliff over the ocean. It's so pretty. Behind us is a massive lighthouse.
I like all the geographical thing in the world and stuff like that, but sometimes they're very corny and like just to point on the map. And therefore not come here.
It's one of those things where like it's really beautiful, but the entire coastline in Portugal is really beautiful. So this is just a little tick on our book, you know?
Yeah, the water is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if it's a lens on my... No, it's just pretty. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Europe. For those of you that like Portugal and like us, more importantly, make sure you stick around for the next coming videos because we're actually going to be road tripping the whole of Portugal for about 2 weeks and the whole of Andalusia. So if you hate Spanish, don't subscribe.
Did you just do a road tripping the whole of Portugal?
The whole south.
Yes.
Well, the whole south.
We'll be doing a road trip in Portugal to Algarve.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. We made it to westernmost point.
So our fourth stop of the day, I think, something like that. Our fourth stop of the day will be the best stop probably we have, which is a wine tasting. I don't know what kind of wine we're tasting yet, but it's the perfect afternoon after quite a bit of the vagabondness we've done back and forth. Perfect way to sort of end the day and enjoy the delicacies of Portugal.
Look at that.
Adore this view.
That is so cool. This is cute. It's like an old barn that's been renovated into a winery co-op. So all the little small wine farms bring their grapes here and they make the wine out of it, which is so cool. It's all dark and moody in here as well. Like it adds to the vibe. Let's drink some wine.
Hello, welcome. My name is Francisco. I'll try to introduce a little bit briefly the history of the wine and the company. The company is a cooperative seller, so this means that the grape growers, the small grape growers of the region are the owners of the company themselves. They decided to come together in 1931 to start the company, so we end up being the first cooperative winery in Portugal.
Okay, so the reason we're doing a wine tasting in this region is because it's a really unique region for wine. So they actually grow their vines in a very different way. They actually grow their vines under the sand. So instead of being growing along like a fence like you would see in a traditional vineyard, they're actually grown flat on the ground. So they don't grow up, they grow horizontal along the ground, which is really cool. But they do that purposely to protect the vines from the harsh ocean weather that they have here. Because the vines are grown underneath the sand, this is the only type of original European vineyard that most of the vines in Europe were actually destroyed by a bug that was brought over from America in the 1900s, and pretty much they lost most of their crop, but these ones survived. So these are part of the 20% of vines that actually survived that complete devastation because they were grown under the sand. The bugs couldn't get to them. I like it. I don't know if I love it. I'm gonna say it's interesting, but it's definitely nice to try a glass of this. It's always fun trying different wines. I love coming to vineyards, as you can probably tell if you've been watching our videos, but yeah, it's definitely interesting, this one. Welcome to Cascais.
Next stop.
Yes.
My God, not ending. I love it.
So this is our 5th stop on today's tour, which is incredible. It is a little bit rushed, but not too much. Like, we're still enjoying our time. And the town of Cascais is on everyone's list of places to see when you come to Lisbon. It's apparently a very ritzy, beachy neighborhood. We're gonna do a wander down the main street towards the water. And our guide Diogo advised us that the very best ice cream you can have is in this town. It's called Santini. They do have shops in Lisbon as well, but he said this shop is the original shop. So I guess on our agenda is to get some ice cream. The worst part about queuing for ice cream is then I get like decision anxiety over deciding what flavor to get because you have to be quick because there's people queued and waiting. It's so stressful. Have chocolate and coconut. I love how they've done it. It's like a flower. Best ice cream in Portugal. It's pretty good. It's not as good as Argentina. We've just had the best ice cream in the world that we've ever had, so nothing could ever live up to it.
Well, beautiful people, this means this is the end of our tour and the end of our time here in Lisbon, but it's definitely not the end of our time in Portugal.
Nope.
So if you enjoyed this little 48 hours in Lisbon, make sure you stick around because there's a lot more of Portugal coming up.
Yes. We're going to be hiring a car and we're going to be checking out a few places that are a little bit harder to get to unless you do have a car, and obviously doing a road trip. So if you're wondering about how to road trip Portugal,
stick around. Apart from that, a big thank you to Living Tours and more importantly to Diego, our tour guide today, who has been fantastic, charismatic, knowledgeable. Really recommending them. We'll put a link in the description for your next trip because I'm sure now you're considering coming for a trip to Portugal or Lisbon. But thank you for tuning.
Yes, and if you've watched this far, please subscribe to us and give the video a like as well. It really helps us grow, and that's what we're trying to do so we can keep traveling.
We will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Who knew? Not us.